Finally I have to say, all these things that come my way, tout les pour I voter. It may take a lead, our footballers now so free. We feel new playing field. Look, the Daito is now on track, so we're not turning back. Oh, so I don't care who want to cut my tail.
Alright, with Dr. Gill.
So I don't care who want to cut my tail.
Alright, with Dr. Gill.
I see this school building I must hail.
Alright, with Auntie Gill.
Oh, now we're seeing things coming. I'm not going back for less. I will continue with progress. Progress. Oh, so I don't care who want to cut my tail.
Alright, with Dr. Gill.
I see this school building I must hail.
Alright, with Dr. Gill.
The house center they will unveil.
Alright, with Auntie Gill.
So I don't care who want to cut my tail.
Alright, with Dr. Gill.
I see this school building I must hail.
Alright, with Dr. Gill.
The house center they will unveil.
Alright, with Auntie Gill. Alright, with Dr. Gill.
And good night. You could keep the background music there. A lot of people like that one. Good night, folks. Good night to you, and welcome to another Crossfire. In the studio with me tonight is the man on the southern side of the studio, Champagne, and in the north, the man from the north, Herod. Good night, gentlemen. And tonight's going to be. How's that? Tonight's going to be a little different. It's going to be the same, but it's going to be different because we're going to get your participation, although you've been participating all the time. But tonight we're going deep. We're going into the past. We're coming right now into the present. And we're going into the future. That's right, Champagne. You ready for the action? Folks, are you ready for the action right now?
Ready!
That's right. That's right. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, serious business here tonight. And it's a beautiful Saturday night in St. Lucia. Saturday the 26th. A while ago I was coming down and I heard you on the air talking about the 27th of July and then it's the 28th. It's the 26th of June, man.
Yeah, he's looking forward to Christmas. He's looking forward to Christmas because the election is already
It's not July. I think he's a little bit confused.
It seems like he's trying to
A little
bring
confused.
election forward.
Yeah, and of course, a special good night to all of you out there in the diaspora already. Of course, I heard Champagne talking about the action in Brooklyn. Brooklyn Posse. Good night, Brooklyn.
Looks like it was well received. I have some photos on there. A lot of people in there. Yeah, a lot of people. The bell was in the chat, so. Mike?
Yeah, we got them on. They're on now.
Beautiful. Ring the Bell was the one leading the chat.
Yeah, he told me that. And tonight he's going to a party in New York.
Well, I don't think Ring the Bell will be back the same.
So you don't think he's coming back?
My mic is up? My mic is up.
1, 2.
Number 3.
Oh, you're 3.
Yeah, 3.
Is that 3? Okay.
Yeah.
How's that now? That's better?
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
much better, man.
Ring the Bell is not coming back home.
Ring the bell is going to be from there. He's crossing to Canada because everything, they put everything together.
Yeah.
And he has his documents to cross over, you know.
Oh boy.
So the man tell me he's not coming back.
So we have lots. Don't say that before you have a lot of people crying tonight. Yeah. Mr. Williams, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up.
I understood that we're going to be going in a different direction tonight.
Well,
Serious
it's the
stuff.
same direction, but it's a little more serious tonight because today is another day,
Yeah.
and we're another day closer to that special day. I see you sporting a nice T-shirt, man. You know,
looks nice,
let me tell you
beautiful.
something, man.
Yeah.
We've been doing it before. If I knew you were going to wear the same thing like me tonight, I would.
But I
wear
tell you,
something else.
listen, the amount of people that are asking for those T-shirts, but they don't know that came from Austria. That special package, special delivery, special delivery from some special people.
Yeah.
Yes. That don't get jealous out there, St. Lucia. You have yours coming, but for the moment, we're the ones having them first.
We're the frontline
We're
models.
the frontline.
The models.
That's right. It looks good though. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
The text, the
Very
material
unique.
feels really nice.
You know, I
very
feel
nice.
like drinking something nice and cold, you know, something
yeah?
a non-alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, well, we know about that. You and I in the same boat, just that I'm a little better than you.
Well, folks, good night to you. Good night to you all around St. Lucia, wherever you are, in Micoud, Dennery, Labrie, Choiseul, Vieux-Fort, Anse-Lauré, Soufrière, Canaries, Castries, Groseilliers, or Babono, Babono, wherever you are in between Entrepot, Bocage. Where are you from, Champagne?
Bagatelle,
That's
the
right.
Bagatelle man is in the
That's
house.
right.
That is where. Bagatelle is where.
Bagatelle is the prime.
That's behind the back.
The pride and joy of Castries East.
Do you have a representative in
The pride and
Bagatelle?
joy of I'm the representative.
A bag of 12. Bag of 12.
Bag of 12.
Bag of 12.
I am from the Grand Riviera in Groseilliers,
Yes,
so,
yes,
and I have a representative. I have Mr.
So I don't have a rep?
Little Spider Montreal.
So I don't have a rep,
Well, you said so.
but I'm the rep.
Well, you'll be having a rep pretty soon.
Now for sure.
None other.
Okay, well,
None other.
you will be having one.
Okay.
So right presently, I don't know.
have.
I don't know if you have one.
You can tell the fortune of Castries East right now
That's right.
shall be Fortuna
Amen.
Belrose.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You say that?
Bell
Of
was.
course, without a doubt.
According to French, the bell was.
Yeah.
Belrose.
Bell was.
The writing is on the wall.
Yes.
Is it in chalk or is it in paint?
The damage has been done.
It's
Too much damage has been done.
That's what it is.
Now you need corrective measures.
Yeah.
You need emergency
Course correct.
treatment. That's what you need in Castries East.
I spoke with Minerva last night. I didn't
Oh, you
recognize
did?
it was her. She
Oh,
came
really?
to the barbecue. She said, Champagne, I did not recognize it was Minerva. It's after she left, someone saying that was Minerva.
In the
So
barbecue.
Minerva, if you're listening, my apologies. I did not
In the
recognize. She was
barbecue
there last night. But
But
she was not
why
at
she
the
not come up
barbecue.
here?
No, she came. I think she thought that what's it called, the thing the kids have on a Friday. How you call it?
I don't know, man.
That program on TV,
The
man.
program last.
With the kids, with the youngsters.
Oh.
Friday, Flabo Friday.
Flabo Friday.
Yeah.
So she thought that it was happening here. I told her it was happening over at here and over.
Well, we have a call coming in.
Yeah,
so
she
will,
didn't-
you want us
my
to take
apologies,
that call?
Manova, I didn't recognize you. Go
You
ahead,
wanna
of
take
course.
that call?
This is what the
Okay.
program is about.
Good night. You on the air. It's Crossfire.
Hello.
Good night. Oh, you sound so alive and warm.
Well, it's Agatha.
Agatha.
Cafe Swizzle.
Agafa.
Yeah,
Oh, you in
man.
Cafe Esposel.
Oh,
Yeah,
Agafa.
you been to my house?
Yes.
All right.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm listening to you all morning, noon, night.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
My radio is only small, and I can carry it in one hand.
Okay, great.
So if I'm in my room, it's in my room. If it's in my kitchen, it's in my kitchen. If it's in the living room, it's in the living room, and plus the telly. You know,
Yeah.
I try. I really does really make my day.
Wonderful. Wow.
Yes,
That's Herod.
I'm hearing everything, every program, everything. And
Yeah.
enlightens me and listen to everybody and all that.
Wonderful.
I tried to phone last night, but I can't get through.
Really?
It was very busy.
Oh.
And I really like Guy Joseph
Hmm.
in the house when Champagne played, recorded play. And they had a dispute.
Yeah.
Guy Joseph and the
Since when that's your role?
Yes, I played
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
played that. You love that, huh?
Memories.
He should play tomorrow.
I'm going to play it on Monday, God willing. Not Monday, Tuesday. Monday is prayer for the nation.
Yeah.
Yes, on
And
Tuesday
Sunday
morning, God
coming
willing.
Monday night.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. What about you?
Well, I'm fine. I'm all right.
All right, thanks for the
You
call.
know, I don't really phone all the time,
That's okay.
but I couldn't get through last night.
We know you're listening.
Yes, I listen morning, noon, and night.
All
Okay,
right,
great.
All
thank you
day,
very
all
much.
night.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, darling.
okay.
Thank you.
Hope you
Mr.
have a good
Gabba.
night.
Have a good one.
Yes,
Thank
I need
you.
to. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, beautiful. Our beautiful lady down there at the Cafe Choiseul. And we spent some time there a couple Sundays ago. We had lunch there, Brother Williams. You're on TV. You're on television. You're on TV.
No, it's because he thinks it's something about him.
you're
You know,
on
that's why
TV.
he's pulling you up.
You're on TV. The whole world is watching you.
He doesn't want you to say anything
See
about
that?
him.
The whole world is watching. Anyway, let's get down to business, Brother Williams.
Well, you know, folks, I have to talk about the honesty of the guys in the studio here. You know, I left $100 bill here since Friday. and it's right here on the table. So
See?
thank you guys.
Need to ring the bell
for
on that.
leaving that.
That's because of
leaving
the
that.
the honest guys that operate up here.
That's mine. I'll take
Yes,
that. Right?
yes.
Well, you can have it.
Well, folks, you know, I want to start at the start. And the start is going back in time a little bit. And I want to go down memory lane with you a little bit tonight, and with Champagne and the man Herod right here. Do you remember the Millennium Highway? You remember how it was referred to by the usual suspects as Sir John having tunnel vision? You remember when the dam was being built, how it was referred to by the usual suspects as Dam the Dam? Remember that? To have conceived those projects, the dam, obviously was not for today, back then, the day it was built, but into the future, projecting an increase in commercial activity, an increase in business activities, an increase in tourism, an increase in farming, an increase in whatever would require water in St. Lucia, particularly in the north of the island. Remember the Millennium Highway? That was to make traveling out of Castries into the city, down to the west coast, down to the south, much easier. Because we had, those of you who can remember back in the day, we had the Old Mon Road, we had Wakache, we had a lot of buses and a lot of vehicles go over the edge.
Yeah.
You remember that, Champagne?
Oh,
Bricks
of
giving
course,
way.
Of course.
People had to get off the buses, the
Yeah,
trucks.
Lost of lives up there.
Yeah.
Entering people's homes.
Yep. And so John and the people in the UWP government decided, you know what? We got to bypass that. Then we had the Latok Road. And still, a lot of vehicles went off there. Into vehicles down Hospital Road, down by Government House. What was happening? Took too much time. Population started to grow. More business started to take root in the city of Castries because of the economic management and all what was done with the government back then, the UWP. So the government, under Sir John Compton, thought that the better thing to do to enhance business, to make business run faster, the Millennium Highway. But of course, they didn't think that there was any sense in that, as usual, opposing everything. But what did that do? Make business faster. Reduce wear and tear on your vehicle. Just like this government is trying to do now, fix the roads that were neglected for so long. And what they tell you? People don't need roads. People don't need roads.
You know, I want to stay on the Millennium Highway for a little bit because I think what you started off is very, very important. And we all know the amount of cargo that left Castries back in the day before you had the Millennium Highway. And those container trucks had to go around Bannon and go through Latok Road. And with those really, really tight corners with the 40-foot container,
that's right.
It was almost impossible. Listen to me. For those of us that drove at that time, I know you did, and you as well, Brother Williams, it was like a nightmare, you know, being in the back of a container truck up that Latok Road. Even if you think you don't want to go through Latok, you go through the governor, under the governor's house there. More problems because some guys want to escape that Latok Road.
But you don't know, you're driving behind that thing or a big truck.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's going to roll back on you.
That is the thing, and that has happened.
All the time.
So, you know, Sir John, with the visionary guy he was, said, wait a minute, and the UWP government, we cannot mention Sir John without bringing in the UWP government.
Naturally.
Wait a minute, there's some land on that side of the island. Let me see if I could get a tunnel over there. Or road.
It's flatter.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let us get some, and the Millennium Highway came about with 2 tunnels in there. What was said? How much criticism? Something that was in a great way to develop St. Lucia. Take all of that traffic out of Castries and have another bypass way to get into the cul-de-sac valley. That was criticized heavily. But all what Sir John was doing is giving you something for the future.
For the future, that's right.
The future.
So here we go now. If we want to examine the sense and the practicality of the Millennium Highway. All the criticism that was given back then was supposed to have been legitimate and valid criticism. That's what they put it as.
That's what
you
they
don't know
said
what
it
you're
was.
doing.
Yeah.
What you're doing is tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Just imagine now, St. Lucians, if we were to shut down
Yeah.
the Millennium Highway.
Yes.
What would happen?
Let's take it out.
Take it out now.
Yeah.
Close it off.
Yeah. Close it off.
Let the
for a
two
week.
tunnels collapse. You can't pass.
Yeah.
What would happen?
Let's imagine for 1 week.
So if you see chaos from that, it means that the vision of Sir John and the United Workers' Party back then made sense. Made sense. And that is how you evaluate. That is how you evaluate the sense and sensibility of what the government was doing. Not listening to the baseless criticisms from the usual suspects.
Now I see where you're going, you know. I see you start all the way back to get into the future, but I'm not going to take your path from you. But go ahead.
Let me put my take in that. When you realize that the route that everybody mentioned in there, like the Latalk and
Yes.
the Governor's
Under the
General
government house, yes.
Now, that road, the tunnel road, is so vital. You can climb the Mon and go into Cicero. And from Cicero, you can
Exit onto the Millennium
onto the
Highway.
Millennium Highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from Cicero, you have two outlets. One to the bottom, one to the top.
Yeah.
Okay? And I mean, it is so vital that this Millennium Highway, like, you know, I watch that highway like something that is so important that if you have to shut it down, as you say,
Now,
now
chaos.
it is chaos because nothing right now. If you shut down the Millennium Highway, nothing cannot happen in Castries.
Nothing can happen in St.
Castries will be clogged.
Yeah.
Be choked.
Nothing could happen in St. Lucia because you have most of the containers coming in postcard streets. You see the amount of trucks being driven down the coast every single day.
Now, all the construction
Okay.
that's taking place, where would those cement trucks pass?
That's my point.
And them long trailer trucks with thousands of blocks. Can they travel through the Mon?
And the man was heavily criticized for development.
It was
for
so bad, they-
developing a country.
But Champagne, the fella's so bad. You tell Misha, they won the elections.
Yeah.
And you know they didn't invite Sir John to the opening ceremony. In fact,
This-
what they did, they invited him
the
same
same day.
after criticism the night before.
The night before of the opening. The night before the
Dirtiness.
opening. Can you believe it?
But I am saying that when you're short-sighted, when you can only see
Your
as
nose.
far as your nose, there is nothing good in you know, because at the end of the day, as leaders, you're supposed to have a vision. You're supposed to have a direction. You are supposed to know where you want to go.
It
and where you're
was
going.
said. It was said. Listen to that. It was said that Sir John built that road because he had some land down there. He wanted the value of
Value,
the property.
yeah.
Can you believe this thing?
But that is always the
Can
case.
you
Look,
believe this thing?
but here's the same tactic again. Building the 4-lane highway, the same 4-lane highway that the previous administration had in mind. They had
Yeah.
the mind,
East Coast
but they
Highway.
couldn't capitalize on it.
Yeah.
They couldn't deliver.
Couldn't get money.
So Michael Chasney has some land right there where the roundabout is going to be, near the Bonte Gap. The government, the prime minister, is putting that road there now, expanding the road because he wants to purchase the land, give him some money off the land there. A few $1,000s, $4,000 or $5,000, I think it was calculated.
Yeah, about that.
A man who's a millionaire.
You know what Sir Michael said? He's giving it away. He doesn't even want the money for it. You remember he said it on my program?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 400. How much it is? 400 and something square feet? Is it?
Yeah,
About
about
400 square feet,
square feet.
something like
400
that.
square feet.
But
Okay.
hear this. These guys.
Now we're not talking too much about these guys.
No, I just telling you.
We
have two bridges. One cost 6 million something, the other one 14 million. You can say, let's say 20 million between the two. Okay? And right now, the government is building a falling to accommodate the two bridges.
And yeah, well,
Okay, if you all build bridges that is fallings, so right now the road is coming to enhance it. So what is the problem?
the problem is it's not under them. That's what the problem is. They don't care about it. Doesn't matter if they had the same idea and couldn't deliver. You're not supposed to deliver.
You know, the foresight, the vision from Sir John Compton for this small country into the future, this is what we are living from today on the basis of the Millennium Highway, and we are going to go into the John Compton Dam, the Sir John Compton Dam. You remember, Brother Herod, almost back in the 80s and even the early 90s, every single day, no water.
No water.
No water. Can't find water. Everyone have a problem.
Well, not me, because the river is just not far from that.
No, seriously, no water. Sir John again came about, but let us hear about what you have to say about the Sir John Compton Dam. Sir John came about with that Sir John Compton Dam. What was it? You remember the thing?
Dam the dam.
The dam. And
We have a message here. Somebody
Oh, my
says,
goodness.
"Countdown. Jack Mel is in the house." Good night,
Champagne,
Jack Mel.
Champagne, the amount of criticism and the amount of verbal insult that Sir John and the United Workers' Party received for building that dam, it was amazing to know that some people is so against development, and especially something like water.
Water is
You,
life.
you have a crisis every time in the dry season.
Yeah,
Water is
Every
life.
time, even when it rains,
but
because of the catchment, the water would be so dirty.
we have a
That-
call.
Every time.
Good night. You're on the air. Let's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you're on Crossfire on the air.
How you doing, brethren?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Right?
Not bad at all, man. Brother Herod, Champagne, and
Good night, good night.
Norbert, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me tell you that.
Mm.
You don't even have to say anything about these things. These people have never done nothing for this country, you know, man. When you're talking about infrastructure, you cannot even speak about these people. These people have not done anything. All they do, they want the labor, the UWP government to go ahead with the infrastructure, build, do everything, and then they want to come into elections and sit down. When they take the whole structure and everything, they bring it back down. They put the country at a loss. That's what they're doing. You know, that is all they're doing. And so now just look at that. Eh? I made mention to Norbert some time ago. I think I said that on Dr. Secrets. Right? We have a fraction of a percentage of people here in this country. All right? And they do not understand what development is all about. All their concern is, I die there and that is where I'm voting. That is where I'm staying. So if my parents was a thief, I have to remain a thief. They don't believe in change. You know, they don't like to promote anything better. So they are living on that standard. And it's a very poor thing. Other nations, other people in the region, they're seeing it. I have friends in the region, they see it. And they cannot understand that the amount of work that has been done, the people are actually seeing it for themselves.
That's right.
It's not hidden up.
That's
They're
right.
seeing it. You know, you can't wear Sakafatek, you still Abaraisa. Now the thing is, you know, some of us, we're very unpredictable about people in the politics thing. And next thing now, all of that is lost. It's not lost in the state of its preparedness, it's an advancement. But the runnings of the country, and in today's time, we've been set back financially, so many years behind, you know, and that is the problem. Anyway, man, I want to commend you all fellas, because I know it takes a lot, you know.
Thank
when
you
a man
very
leave
much,
here all that time in the night, 6 o'clock in the morning, the man back on that again, you know, man, I really respect that. You understand? Fellas like Champagne, these fellas would sit there, man, and because it's a patient thing. You know, Herod and Dr.
A commitment.
Yeah,
A commitment.
man. Come in there, you
Yeah.
know. And with all the explanations, with all the talk, the people are hearing, they're
Yeah.
seeing. Yeah. And they're posing the thing, man. And I mean, you just have to accept it because there's nothing you may be able to do with some. But bravo, man.
Thank you very much, caller.
Thank you
problem.
very
Thank
much.
you.
All right.
Have a
Thank
good night.
you. Thank you, caller.
You know, so guess what, folks? Your music has stopped.
Oh, it has?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But guess what, folks? In the studio right now, I don't know, we have a Shaolin monk. A Shaolin monk came into the studio. If you see that philosoph look right there, folks.
We have a call?
Serious like a pewasi. Good night, you're on the air, it's Crossfire. Good night.
So William,
Yes?
champion, everybody. I just want to ask you all something to see if you could throw a light on this thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Something that happened. Yesterday, I went to pay my insurance, and the amount was $5 to $7.50.
What type of insurance?
Insurance for a new vehicle I have.
For vehicle insurance, okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And now, when I paid the money, the young lady's coming back to me and tell me, "Oh, I given you notice. Next year you have to pay additional $150 something dollars."
What? Say that again, caller?
She told me
Yeah.
that giving me notice that next year I'll have to pay an additional $150 and something cents.
Yeah, why is that?
So I said, why? Because for the 30 years I am driving, I never make an accident. I never come and claim money. Instead of y'all giving me back something, y'all...
Well, maybe
You
it's
know-
time for you to shop around.
And no, but when I asked her that, she's telling me, because I will be 70 this year, so
Yeah.
that is why they raised the insurance.
Really?
So what happened? An elderly cannot drive again?
Mm.
I carry my medical and everything is perfect on my medical. I have no medical issue, nothing at all. And I said, what? I have to give a younger person my vehicle? And you know nowadays young people don't care with the elderly. If I want to go to church, it's a problem to have somebody to drive me to church, or if I want to go to Viewfoot, it's a problem. Because I am tempted, you raise my insurance?
Well, what I would recommend to you is that you shop around, talk to some other insurance companies, see who's going to work with you. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good night.
Right. Yeah, that's all you have to do, folks. That's what you got to do. When you're not getting the good deal, that's the good idea with competition. You know? What do you say, Harold,
That's
about
what
that?
it is. Because, but you know, my insurance always give me good deals, so I can't change.
Good night, you on the air. It's Crossfire. Good night, you on the air. Okay, we'll pop away. Okay, tonight we going. It's big business here tonight. So, Harold, we're talking about Millennium Highway, right? And the benefit that it has been for St. Lucia, because the criticism that was out there from the Kool-Aid Squad about the Millennium Highway, tunnel vision, that's what they called it, tunnel vision. And now we can see, because if you are to think about shutting down the Millennium Highway right now, and you will think that it's going to be chaos, it means that it was a good idea.
It is. It is
Yeah.
a very good idea.
Right. So now, I'm going to go north. Right? I'm going to go north. So let's go to the Rodney Bay Marina. Right? Under this government again, the UWP government. What was you from the north? I'm from the north.
Yeah.
But that was before I moved up there.
Oh, well,
The Rodney Bay Marina and all of that there was what?
That was a swamp with mud.
A mygo.
A mygo.
Yes.
And mosquitoes, moustique,
Ev-
and tululu. Because
don't talk about that.
Once I heard a parliamentary rep talking about tululu.
Zagaya and
Zagaya
Tululu.
and Tululu.
Explain to people what a Tululu is. What is a
A
Tululu?
tululu is you can say it's a kind of small crabs, but it never grows any bigger. It always remains
Very small,
the
very
same.
small
Yeah,
crowd.
and these things, I think it is feeding on worms. Okay, and it can only live and survive in soft mud.
Yeah, like around a migo, a swamp
swamp.
area, right?
I don't know, Mike.
Yeah. Well,
Put it on silent.
yeah. So the thing about that, the center of the development up north and the economic activity up north right now has all been spurred by the Rodney Bay Marina.
Yes.
And then we had the Pigeon Island Causeway.
No, but even before we go to the Pigeon Island Causeway,
The road.
Let us touch. Let us kind of elaborate on the Rodney Bay Marina. a bit. The Rodney Bay Marina, in spite of all the criticism and all the haters and everything of that nature, in the time of Surgeon's vision again, knowing that he wants to make Grosile
And that was around 1969, 70.
70.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, about 60.
I used to live up Lastic Hill at the time. Little boy.
I born and raised in Grosile. So,
Yeah. And we used to go on weekends. Used to live next door to a good friend of the family, Mr. Marshall.
Oh yeah.
Passed
Okay.
away now.
Yeah, passed away.
He used to take us on Sundays for drive. You know, back in the day when there weren't so many cars in
Yes,
St.
yeah,
Lucia,
yeah.
Sundays used to go for your Sunday drive.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing, vague memories, seeing all of these big, heavy equipment
Dredging
and doing all of that in the
yeah.
Rodney Bay area, doing the road, the highway and everything.
Imagine that was the first time I saw something and they call it a sun sucker. Yeah, big machine. Dredging,
Yeah, the
Right now
sun.
I know it's a dredge.
Yeah.
But they used to call it a sun sucker at the time.
Yeah.
So I am saying that the Rodney Bay Marina, originally it was a swamp. And if you kind of just before the marina, if you're coming from Castries
Yeah.
going towards Grosile, you will see where they have the bridge, the Bonte Bridge. If you
Yeah.
just look to your left,
Yeah.
you will see what was the Rodney Bay Marina before.
What was sucked up?
Yeah,
the
what-
Pope side.
Yes,
the,
what
the
it is.
hill.
Yeah.
That's actually the what was dredged up.
Yeah.
And they put it up on the land there.
And right now, you know the price of Pope site?
Yeah, it's $100 a square foot.
Okay. And you cannot buy it in EC dollars. They quote in US.
That's the kind of money that you have.
Yeah, this is our money.
That's the kind of money you have.
This is our money, us dollars. So I am telling you, now, right now, the Rodney Bay Marina, you can call it an
An economic.
kind of machine.
That's right.
Okay, that is where you have yachts.
That's the start of the whole
from
development.
That emerge
That's right.
the Atlantic Rally
Yeah.
for cruisers.
Yes.
St. Lucia been recognized. And how many times have we won that prize for Atlantic Rally for cruisers?
Have we had that here?
so therefore-
What's it, over 30 years now?
Yeah.
It's what? How
So
many
you
years?
see the foresight and the vision of the United Workers' Party and its leaders shows you that it pays to be a United Workers' Party supporter.
So-
and
So let us fast track for a little bit. Now, we have heard, not that it's not important, we have heard of all the development back in Sir John's time, and we're not putting Sir John on the side. He has done great for our country, father of the nation. But I want to talk a little bit about what is to come and what has been happening. What has been happening all around St. Lucia. First, I want to talk about the opening of OKU. Because this is very important. Here you had the European Union building a hospital in St. Lucia. Stayed for a long time. The United Workers' Party was the one that came in and have that hospital opened, commissioned, when you had the opposition, today's opposition, having a naming ceremony cost about over 100 and something thousand. So this is what I am really, really interested in at this moment. Not that what we're talking about is not important, it is important. The past is always important, but nobody always talks about it. They want us to forget the past, we will not forget the past. But opening of the OKEU, that is big. Look at what happened with the coronavirus. And that hospital was opened just in time for the coronavirus. No one knew the coronavirus is coming. Look at what has happened to VH, respiratory hospital, transformed into a respiratory hospital.
And not budgeted for, but the government had to now run two hospitals. Instead of just moving, running two hospitals at the same time.
And all that time with the George Odlum Stadium still up and running, that has to be run as well. The hospital in Soufrière has to be run as well.
The Denry Hospital
has to be run as well. All during the coronavirus. Okay? That is just in the health
sector,
department.
yeah.
In the health department. Let's talk about roads. Let's talk about, there's so much to talk about in the last 4 or 5 years, what this administration has done with the Herod. We don't even really need to go back to Rodney Bay.
No, but
we're going back there. I want to go back there.
Champagne, let me tell you, it is always good to go back because my sons don't know nothing about roads.
No, I know that. And I'm not saying, listen to me, I didn't say it's not important, but we have said that so many times. I believe by now, not that, listen to me, not that it's not important. But there's so much that this government, this administration has done from 2016. You heard what the Prime Minister said when he came in here on Thursday afternoon? The Prime Minister said the first week or the first month after the elections, after him winning the elections or the United Workers' Party forming the government, they were in negotiations regarding the impacts. First week or the first month. They talked about it in the campaign, and the first month negotiations started. Going into Washington, Honorable Guy Joseph said it here. He'd been to Capitol Hill on 3 or 4 occasions with the Prime Minister and other ambassadors in the United States, trying to get this impacts business resolved. And what was the result? We heard we got some what we got on Thursday last week, Brother Williams. We had some sanctions removed.
Yeah, the curfew hours.
No, I'm talking about the ambassador from the United States.
Last week Friday. Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, were lifted.
Okay.
That was not a mistake. That was not just out of the blue. It's because of what was being done by this government.
First month after the elections of 2016. So this is not something that miraculously happened because election is coming on your hand. People talking about, the United States is favoring the UWP. Look at what they have done. The United States don't care about no UWP and no election. Maybe they might have a favorite between the two parties, maybe.
You expect different, Champagne?
I just got a message here. I want to bring it to everyone's attention. Because in this COVID-19 world, in this global pandemic, every country will not go through and has not gone through the exact same situation at the same time. You will hear a spike in Spain over there, you will hear a spike in Italy there, you'll hear a spike in the US, you'll hear people dying over here, you hear the numbers coming down in Canada, then they're going back up, you hear St. Lucia up, St. Lucia down, Barbados this, Barbados that. And the reason for that is every country has its own peculiar set of circumstances. You have different celebrations, you have different behaviors of people that cause the spikes to go up and down. You get a long period if people adhere to the protocols. Once people don't adhere to the protocols, it is seen. Whether it's Christmas, whether it's any other time, once people do not adhere to the protocols, you have spikes in the numbers. And the government, or whatever body is responsible for taking care of health at the time, wherever, has to put measures in place to protect the people, to reduce the numbers, to reduce the outbreak. And it's not peculiar, it's very apparent that the only time you'll hear from the Kool-Aid squad is when things take a turn that's convenient for them. When things are good, when the government is working, when the chief medical officer and the minister of health are doing the right thing, are getting the people to do the right thing, are putting the protocols in place, are putting the measures in place. And what have we seen? The numbers have been going down steadily since the last changes. Did you hear any congratulations or any pleasing words? Wow, we're heading in the right direction. Wow, St. Lucia is doing something well. People continue to obey or continue to adhere to the protocols. Nada.
You won't hear that.
Compare us to St. Kitts and look at St. Kitts. Look at St. Kitts today. And not that I'm making fun of it or happy about it.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that each country goes through these different phases. It's up and down, up and down. Addressed to the nation by the Honorable Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Timothy Harris. And remember, they had put in a state of emergency for 2 weeks, 14 days. Just the other day.
Yeah.
Yesterday, hear what he says. The reduction envisaged, or the reduction that they had anticipated over the 14-day period was not realized. So the 14-day clampdown that they put did not bring the results. And what are you going to do? You have to take further measures. So in St. Kitts right now, effective immediately, they're clamping down even harder. But you will not hear them talk to you or mention that at all. They will not call a press conference and say, well, St. Lucia is doing good now. Look, St. Kitts is going down where we were.
Yeah.
They ain't going to say that. So St. Kitts now, the Prime Minister says, against this backdrop, that's the increase in numbers and everything, I wish to inform you that today the federal cabinet met and after a thorough evaluation of the situation, determined that there is a need for more restrictive measures to help stop the movement of people and to bring to a halt the current wave that has threatened the fabric of all of our institutions and every sector of our society. Listen to this. Same thing that's here, but as if St. Lucia is a different place. We understand the social, psychological, and economic impact this may have on our citizens and residents, but believe it is necessary for the benefit of all. So here the measures. Under these new restrictive measures, the state of emergency remains in place for both St. Kitts and Nevis, and the existing curfew for both islands will continue. But there will be, for the island of St. Kitts, which is the larger island, a complete 24-hour lockdown, which will begin 6 p.m. on Sunday, that's tomorrow, the 27th of January, till 5 a.m. on Thursday, July the 1st.
Okay.
On Thursday and Friday, July 2nd, there will be limited movement for limited operations from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and a return to a full 24-hour lockdown from 6 p.m. on Friday, July the 3rd to Thursday, July the 8th. We will again have limited movement for essential services, for essentials on Thursday, July the 8th, blah, 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 blah. A shelter-in-place order will be strictly enforced. This means that every person shall remain confined to their place of residence, inclusive of their yard space, to avoid contact outside their family, except essential workers, blah, 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 blah. All places of business, including doctors' offices, will be closed during the strict lockdown hours. Next pointer. While religious and educational institutions are closed, this is a special time for our students as they sit their external exams, and therefore a special dispensation is granted to allow students and their parents or guardians to travel to an examination center. A limited number of government workers will be needed to ensure the continued functioning of the state. The beaches in St. Kitts will be closed. Next one. Liquor licenses are suspended. Absolutely no rum shops, bars, or night spots will be allowed to operate. We make a special exception for farmers and fishers to tend to their flocks and to go fishing to keep our food supply going during days of limited operation. C'est pas même bail la nou te fait simplicité.
Same difference.
Mais yo te ka hele kon 10,000 mais oui madeleine comme si di gouvernement pas aimé moun les pige moun.
Et puis regardez ça, c'est une question de plus jour curfew. Passez nous hein. On va parler.
We have a call via WhatsApp. Good night, you're on the air. Oh, you know what? I think somebody turned off. Oh, what's going on here? Good night, you're on the air. Oh, you
Good
sound so
evening.
far away. She's all the way up. Let me see here.
Somebody inside the World Bank that he knew that arranged things for him. That's how they were speaking. Nothing the Prime Minister has done for them as if to them, and they know it is right, you know, but they're looking for all ways and means to say that he had somebody there working for him to give him favors. That's how they operate. Haven't you all noticed?
Yep. You're right, caller.
That's what they're about.
You're absolutely right. That's not good. That's not good news. That's not good news, caller. Is working. That's right. Absolutely on the right path. Caller, we just rebooting this here, so sorry about that. But absolutely right. So when we look at St. Kitts now, which apparently was the darling of the Kool-Aid squad some time ago, what's happening there now? When Barbados was one.
Yeah.
Then when they gone, they get silent about Barbados. Antigua was one. And look at Antigua and everything. When things start to go old mass in Antigua, they get quiet about Antigua.
Yeah.
The only place they putting down is St. Lucia. All the time.
And, okay, the question remains. If you put in St. Lucia down like this, why are you vying for office in St. Lucia? Because you do not like St. Lucia.
You may play, yeah?
Wale, et puis, ou dit cette ici, you can organize Quim, pour tuer moun en un autre pays. Et puis, ou ka vini ou le aller, même cette ici a beaucoup pour office. Moi, pas comprendre ça. Moi, quand essayer de comprendre ça, moi, pas comprendre ça.
But anyway, you know how you know the story already. The tactics. That's the usual tactics. The usual suspects. But so, I want to remain in the north. I want to remain in the north. And you see, whoa, there's messages coming in there like crazy. What's going on? These messages coming in like crazy.
We have a little issue with the WhatsApp.
Yeah, it seems so. I'll get that sorted out. But You see, for those of you who travel north, the old Grosley Highway is still there, you know. You have to know which part it is. Now, let me give you the first part that still remains. When you're going up north, opposite the S&S Plaza at Bois d'Orange,
They have a piece there.
across the highway, where that radio station is there, Vibe FM, where you have the tile building, that little road in
Yes,
there.
yes.
That's a piece of the... Look at the size of that road.
Pass it in front of Tile Wool.
Tile World, that's
Yes.
right. That little piece of road there, you see in there, from one end to the other end where the NTRC is.
Yeah.
That's the size. That's what the Grosley Highway was.
And if you
Right?
if you continue,
The two pillars.
When you turn to the bend,
Oh, yes.
immediately,
Inside there where Tracker lives there.
They have a piece of
on
of
the side
Grizzly
there.
Highway.
That's still there.
I'm going up.
The other piece is also in front of Volson, where they make the blocks.
Exactly. Where
That's
there's
the
a-
little piece
right there.
right there. There's a just after the C.O. Williams Gap on the right
On
side.
the right side, yeah.
There's a little food truck that they
Yeah,
have on the
yeah,
side
yeah,
there.
yeah.
That little piece there
Is another
is the
piece
Grosley
of
Highway.
yeah.
Now, let me take people to the Grosley Highway again. They pass on it every day and they don't know it's the old one because it's not the main highway. When you pass the old Volney's gas station on the left side, where you have those two pillars
The two
that say US Naval Air Station,
Exactly.
you turn in there.
Uh-huh.
That was the Grosley Highway. And you go down that hill. You turn left and then you go down.
What was the
Straight down
what was
past the
name of-
hotel.
What was the name of the hotel? The
What's it? St. Lucia Beach Hotel?
St. Beach Hotel.
That's right. In the early 70s. Right? You go straight down. Let me give them the story. Before you had Rodney Bay Marina, there was no canal.
Nothing. Nada.
You could just, that was not always there. Some people think that was always there. You know.
Nada.
You could just drive straight down past the hotel, past Q and where all those,
Exactly.
the strip is there, past the ramp,
Yeah.
and go straight across to Grosley. Now, at the end there, folks, let me see those of you who know. At the end, you have the Bay Gardens Beach
Beach
Resort.
Resort.
That's on the left side. That's opposite where that hotel was blue.
Blue.
The hotel is
that
still
was
there.
the cemetery.
Where the Bay Gardens Resort is right now
That was the cemetery.
was the Grosley Cemetery.
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't know that, eh?
And when you cross the main road going to the church, that was the Grosley Highway.
That's right. That's right. Straight into the church.
It's straight into the church.
That's right. Now,
And there was a chapel.
that's where they do the way of the cross or whatever now, right?
Yeah, there was a chapel.
So, folks, so let me tell you. If there had not been the foresight, why you think the marina was built? For Ticonot? It was for exactly what it is there now, the vision to see where the world was going, the potential that St. Lucia had at
Now,
the time.
okay, why do you think that the highway that everybody drives on come about in Grosley? Is Sir John again? Sir John consider, you know something? I want to build a road for me not to enter the village. I want to bypass the village to go up to Capacity.
Open up the north. Now listen, because of that opening up, the dredging of that area, look at Beauséjour.
Beauséjour.
Yes, the housing development in there. Beauséjour could not have been what it is now if there had not been the dredging of the Rodney Bay to create the Rodney Bay Marina. Because all in there was Campeche, there was Maigo. Listen to me, in there was mosquitoes like crazy.
Both sides, you know.
There's stories about St. Lucia Beach Hotel, which then became, for I think it was for independence, they changed the name to the St. Lucian Hotel in 1979. I remember that.
Yeah.
People were coming to the beach, to the hotel there, and sandflies used to bust their tail. Man.
Yeah.
Flies, sandflies, mosquitoes. Where you have that Blue Lagoon, remember Blue Lagoon?
Blue Lagoon, yeah.
Inside the Boseju Gap. That's the first local, what do you want to call it? Guest house or mini hotel in the north.
Yeah.
Blue Lagoon. And that place there when it rains. Even just across from the now the Sports Academy, the Grosley Secondary School. Right across the road from there, there's still some swamp in there.
Brother, all that was swamp.
Yeah.
All this area was swamp, my brother. Even the house, Edgewater Housing Development, that was swamp.
Oh, forget about that. Forget about that.
I don't know if when last you pass in that area, you will see there is a house there that has been built and it's slanting. Okay? And it is because of the swamp.
I don't know. We have some issue going on here. You know what? Let me just do a little something. Brother Herod, take it on there.
Yeah.
Let's get the mic.
Yeah, so what I am saying is that unless we don't go back to history and what transpired in the entire island of St. Lucia, the people will not know what the UWB has done for this country, Champagne. So, yeah, Champagne.
Listen, I know of what transpired before. I think I have enough age to remember some of the things. But what is happening now is unprecedented. It has never been happening before by any administration. This administration has done a lot of stuff, and there's so much more to come. Let's look at that water project in the Beaufort North area. Let's look at the water project. There's so much happening in Beaufort, but let's look at the water project. So you have an area that is consists of Labrie, Beaufort, maybe parts of Deriso, maybe parts of Deriso. And you have people complaining about water almost every day. But that is not the main reason. So if you're going to develop Beaufort, you're going to construct a new airport, you're going to construct call centers, you're going to construct hotels, you have a hospital.
Okay, I think we have a call. Somebody's been trying to call, and it's your friend, Champagne. Good night, you're on the air. It's Crossfire.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Yes, it is.
Hi. Hi. I want to echo the sentiments of a previous caller to say hats off to you, all four of you gentlemen, for doing a fantastic job, the commitment to the shows, the various shows, the time. No, but I tell you all the time, I don't know how you do it. You're in the studio late on a Tuesday night, up in the studio every morning early. So hats off to you, bravo.
Well, thank you very much.
You gentlemen are doing a fantastic job in explaining things to people, debunking a lot of the misinformation, and really getting the right messages out there.
Colin, now that you mention it, it really does take a lot, because from Monday through to Friday, every morning, and then back at nights for another 3-4 hours, about 3 times a week, and on a Saturday night, for one purpose. That purpose and the commitment is to make sure that this government continues the great job that they are doing. We have not seen that type of governance for the last 10, 20, 30 years, maybe.
Yes.
And for the first time, if we are seeing these things happening with the leadership of Alan Chastanet, or the Prime Minister Alan Chastanet and his team, we too have to do our part.
Yep.
So this is why I'm stuck here.
I think you should ring the bell for yourself.
Yes,
I think you guys deserve
So you should ring the bell. Come on, ring the bell.
Yes.
That's what you should do.
This is why I'm here. This is why Brother Norbert is here. This is why Herod and yourself. And let me apologize for last night for not even recognizing it was you, Maneuver. When you spoke with me outside.
That's okay.
Champagne, Champagne, let me just butt in the maneuver. This is Herod here.
Okay.
Herod, that's Herod.
Okay, I was expecting, since Champagne told me that you were on island, I was expecting to hear, okay, Maneuver is butting in just to say a quick hello in studio, because everybody's in studio tonight. And even though you get a right to drop you, somebody would have taken you home, whether it's Beaufort or Choiseul or Soufrière It's not a. So I mean, what?
I'll surprise y'all one of these days. I'll surprise y'all.
Okay, we are waiting your presence.
Okay, for sure.
Right, go
So
ahead.
beyond saying to you and recognizing the commitment that each of you are making to the station and making sure the information is out there, I wanted to talk about coming from Canada back home now and just looking at it from my lens. I just want to say what my summation of what I see the work of this government is. So as you guys are saying, and Norbert, you made the point really succinctly that at every stage of John Compton's development, his developmental agenda, you've had the Labour Party fighting him for everything he's tried to do, and we could list off everything.
Everything.
Talk about the Millennium Highway, the Pigeon Island Causeway, the Rodney Bay Marina. I remember when John Compton was relocating the squatters in that whole Conway area to build the government buildings. I remember the pushback he got. Even the National Providence Fund, which is today NIC. Even independence.
Yep.
I remember I was a
Everything.
child. Well, I was very, very young. I was an infant when we became independent. But I saw an interview with Compton when he was talking about how the Labour Party opposed independence. So it's like almost like this every stage of development, everything good that the UFP government has done, they've opposed. It's like opposing for the sake of opposing.
Yeah.
And it's I often ask myself, where would we be today if John Compton did not have the boldness, the political will?
Say it right. Say it right.
No,
The balls.
the balls. That's not what I wanted to use,
Yeah.
Robert, but I recognize I'm on air. The balls and the political will to ignore the noise of the Labour
The
Party
nonsense.
and stick to his developmental agenda.
Yeah.
Manova.
And nobody,
Yes, it's something you forgot. And everything that they oppose is beneficial to St. Lucia and St.
Has
Lucians now.
benefited, yes. Everyone.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Absolutely.
Look at the noise they're making about NIC. That was the NPF, National Provident Fund.
Yeah.
And the fella said, if I remember correct, that was 1974. They said, Compton vle point katsu vole l'argent à sous salaire. That's what they said.
Yeah.
That's what they said in 1974.
Yep.
And look at them now, want to defend the NIC, what they fought tooth and nail to kill. You see, these fellas are something else, man.
Yeah.
Ah.
So gentlemen, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and hats off to John Compton. He was a man before his time, a visionary, a man who stuck to his developmental agenda. But I also see that in Chasney. As a matter of fact, I will even go a step further. If Chasney is given the opportunity to have the amount of time John Compton had, he will far surpass what Sir John did, because we've already seen what he's done in 5 years. And I'll tell you why I admire
Less than 5.
Alan Chasney. Exactly, less than 5. Alan Chasney, there's a developmental agenda for St. Lucia. It's not ad hoc development. It's
That's
not
right.
haphazard development.
Planned.
There's strategic planning for development for St. Lucia. And a lot of people underestimate our Prime Minister. And sometimes it's good to let people think you're stupid when you're actually not. This man is brilliant. When I analyze what he's doing, Alan Chasney is actually very, very brilliant and very strategic. He doesn't boast about himself. He doesn't make a lot of noise. He doesn't respond to the criticism. He just works. That's why I have a lot of admiration for him. So I'll tell you what. When I see Vieux-Fort, Norbert, and we were chatting about that today, governments have come and governments have gone, and they've all said Vieux-Fort, the South is a mecca for development, yada, yada,
The
yada.
new frontier.
But the new frontier. But we've not seen actual tangibles. You know, even we had a prime minister from a Vieux-Fort constituency, and what did he do to invest in Vieux-Fort to be that developmental hub for St. Lucia? Nothing. There was very little. In fact, there's really nothing I can point to. No, but can you think of anything I can
say that again?
To show how.
Yeah.
I was asking, what Kenny Anthony? He was a rep for one of the Vieux-Fort seats. if you're talking about making Viewport the mecca, the hub, really focusing on development in the South, shouldn't that have been a priority for him?
But of course.
Especially since he was the Prime Minister and the rep.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I don't know I can point to any one thing that he's done in Viewport to make it so. But Norbert and gentlemen, when I see the actual actions this government has taken in the South to open the South up, I mean, Norbert and I were talking today. It's not just Shante is not doing the infrastructure work just for the sake of doing infrastructure works and providing jobs. There's a bigger plan for it. It is about increasing the capacity of the country for development. So you cannot develop your manufacturing, your agriculture, your hotel sector, or even new residential development if you don't have water supply.
Yeah.
So you
that's
have
where I
to
was
fix
going
that
about
problem.
Yeah.
Right. Hence the Grace Water Supply Project.
That's right.
You cannot develop tourism or other industries if our airport is beyond capacity already.
That's exactly.
Champagne, I'm not sure if you were at the airport today. Did you work today, Champagne?
Of course I'm
At the
there.
airport?
1,002 plus.
Okay.
We had 1,200 people
Champagne.
today.
Yes. And I get the numbers. I get the numbers every day of our flights.
Yeah.
Champagne, I saw
I'm gonna put
photos
up.
of
I'm
what
gonna
the-
put
what
up
the
on the
arrival lounge
screen.
looks like.
I'm gonna put up on the screen in a little bit a packed
Okay.
departure area this afternoon. So in a
Right.
little bit we're gonna
Yeah.
put it up on the screen so
Okay.
all could see.
Okay. And that's what it is. Our airport is at capacity. In the midst of COVID, our airport is at capacity. We have
Can
flights.
you believe that?
This month, in the midst of COVID, Norbert, we have flights. We are bursting the teams with flights. You know, and we need to be able to expand our airport, not just for the sake of tourists coming in now, but to position ourselves for future development. I keep saying it all the time, Barbados is further out east than us. Barbados had positioned themselves as the hub for Carnival cruise ships. So you could home port there, you get your ship there and so on. But you cannot do that if you don't have the airport capacity
That's
to
right.
take in these additional
That's right.
visitors.
That's right.
When Shasne is developing the airport, he's talking about a cruise ship port in the south. It's that vision, that strategic planning. It goes hand in hand with all of the work he's doing in the Viewport to create jobs for young people, to create entrepreneurial
But let me ask you a
opportunities for young
question. Why do you think that the SLP, after so many years in office, after identifying the South as the new frontier, were unable to and failed at doing anything near what is happening right now in the South? They could not.
No, but I think it's a lack of vision. These guys are lacking vision. And we know what the Bible says about people who lack vision. They perish.
Well
Even
said.
Now we keep
Well
asking
said.
these guys, what are their plans? And they have not been able to articulate their plans for St. Lucia, Norbert. They don't have the vision to do it. No, but we saw their performance when they were in last in government.
Just
in the
talk.
best of times, when there was no crisis, nothing. They were best positioned, the better position than this government to do it, because now we're dealing with COVID, not just a health crisis, we're dealing with an economic crisis caused by COVID. And this government is still managing to keep things going. No, but I coming from Canada, driving around St. Lucia, no, but I see things are open. The economy is open. Businesses are open. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying we're back
Look at the
100%.
traffic today. Look
But
at
no,
the
but
traffic
people are out and
today.
about. People are spending money.
It's
People are
Christmas.
spending money on discretionary things. People are spending money on eating out. People are spending money on recreation. No, but living in Canada, I have to manage my budget, and you know, people don't eat out every day like that. People don't. But here there's a greater sense of, I find, of
Freedom
real
now.
taxation, right? Of freedom, of, you know, and it's indicative of the confidence that people have, that money circulating in the economy. And no, but it doesn't just happen just so. So it happens because this Prime Minister has taken deliberate actions to do that. So when the Labour Party is screaming about with the debt, we're borrowing. Yes, we're borrowing, but what are we borrowing for? You could see what we're borrowing for. You could see where the money is going. It's investment in capital projects. And no, but we know that that's what countries do. Anybody who understands
jobs.
economics understands that
Injection.
people, the government, invest in capital works infrastructure to spur the economy. You create jobs, you create employment, you create economic activity. Like somebody was saying to me, a local contractor who I saw, he said he used to support the Labour Party. He said, I'm supporting this government now. And I was actually surprised. He said, I am supporting this government now. He said, all these the people, the ordinary man on the street who are employed in these projects, they are taking that money back to their communities, and the money is going straight back into wherever communities they come from. He said they're not shopping at Massey supermarket. They're shopping in the local shops in their communities. You know, so that way the money is filtering through far and wide throughout the country. And we see that now, but we see, so not only are we benefiting from the expansion of our infrastructure, we're increasing our capacity for development.
That's right.
We're creating employment, and we're creating a multiplier effect for the economy. So, again, the brilliance of Alan Chastanet, hitting many birds with one stone. So when the Labour Party jumped in and screamed, we're borrowing. Yes, we are, but we're borrowing for which country in the world is not borrowing now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think people need to understand that we're borrowing to keep things afloat. If it was the Labour Party, Norbert and gentlemen, what would they do? Sit on their hands, sit on their laurels?
But you know what?
Oh my God, we're in a crisis.
But you know what? The strategy all along, the tactic of the propaganda and the lies and the half-truths is to distract the attention of St. Lucians from having that real meaningful conversation, to distract you from understanding, from seeing what this government is doing, so that you will realize, hey, there's merit to what's happening. Instead, all they want is chaos, all they want is turmoil, all they will do is predict doom and gloom and put St. Lucia at the bottom of the heap and create discord and push racism and nonsense to keep the people of St. Lucia distracted, so you don't understand and appreciate what this government is doing under Alan Chastanet.
Absolutely.
That's what's happening.
No, but I mean, I look at Soufriere and I keep saying, I don't know how a parliamentarian could transform a constituency like that in 5 years. I don't know, but Herod did it.
Yep.
No, but I was blown away by what I saw in Soufriere.
Hey,
the whole Hummingbird Beach Park, that beautiful, 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 beautiful. The whole the bus terminal, top class, with electronic charging for electronic vehicles. The little market they have there,
very nice, quaint,
world class, top notch. The bridge. I remember before when Soufriere had the one traffic light by the bridge. You had to wait.
One lane.
Yeah?
One lane.
Absolutely. No, but we see the square in Soufriere. Beautiful square. We see the sports stadium in Soufriere.
The name of that place, Old Trafford. Old Trafford.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole waterfront in Soufriere is redeveloped. Beautiful facade with a promenade. No, but I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, a lot of these buildings were old. They
run down.
It was for a town which we call like one of our main tourist towns. Soufriere, the waterfront in Soufriere left a lot to be desired. No, but that waterfront is beautiful now. Beautiful. It's inviting for you to stay there, for you to sit at a restaurant, have a meal, have a drink, enjoy the promenade, relax. I want to see the development of the sulfur springs as well. I always lament that you go to sulfur springs, you go to the sulfur baths, there's no shower to wash off. They've expanded that.
Wash off your mawes.
The showers.
Wash off your mawes.
Exactly. So he's done all of that. No, but when you talk about Castries, again, I've heard governments go and talk about redevelopment plans for Castries. But what actually have they done? But I have seen what this government has started to do, and the work has to continue. I mean, you can't get everything done in 5 years. And the PM kept saying, give him...
We have a photo on screen for those watching on GVD or online of arrivals at the airport. The places, departures.
Both departure and arrivals.
Jam-packed. We had 1,004 going out and 1,002 coming in. Jam-packed.
That is even the road for you, St. Lucia, today.
So you cannot see we need on the bus.
Gentlemen,
can't you see we need
remember last year around this time when the Labour Party and the Hackalacks were saying, tourism is going to take 15 years to come back. Why are we doing an airport now? Tourism this, tourism that. Why?
Exactly.
In the midst of COVID, we have 1,400 passengers living.
In the midst of COVID.
1,400.
Now,
Minerva, I want you to focus on something. Sorry, focus on something here.
Sure.
If you're looking at the screen, 90% of the people you're seeing there, they all are visitors. 90%.
Absolutely.
What that means is that $98 was paid by who?
Visitors.
Was it paid by the St. Lucians?
No, it
was not.
No, but Champagne, most of the flights coming in now are tourists. When I came to St. Lucia, my flight, very, very few St. Lucians on the flight. It was tourists.
But most of the time I come in on the flights, there's hardly St. Lucians on the flight.
Look at this crowd there. Look at the departure. Look at that. Today, in COVID.
Can you believe that?
So, Champagne, what's happening now is that people are getting back to work. The hotel occupancy are up.
Yes.
Again, it's not perfect. It's not back to what it used to be, but we are getting there. But Champagne, it's the investment in marketing that we've made over the years that have taken us there. It didn't just happen. It's when Alan Chastain is talking about developing a world-class brand. We are now reaping the benefits that we have in our tourism industry can bounce back so quickly.
This is total great management of the coronavirus, because here we are, we're still in the coronavirus, but you have Caribbean countries that cannot see when they will have a crowd like that.
That's right. That's right.
We have a lot of countries that don't know when they will have that type of activity at their airports. And we have it here in St. Lucia.
Exactly.
What does that say?
Absolutely. And we want to take it for granted. Nothing from the Kool-Aid squad.
But I'm glad Champagne, or was it Herod Champagne who brought it up? When we talked about the airport last year and we're moving ahead, and what they said, it will take 15 years.
Yeah.
Can you believe? Can you believe the stupidity of that statement? It tells you these people can't understand. They have no understanding for what is happening in tourism. They don't.
They said tourism arrivals will drop because of the increase.
By saying this, but there is a quote in the Bible that say they have ears, but yet they cannot hear. They have eyes, yet they cannot see. And they tell you they're thinking wax gross. This is the Labour Party.
My gosh, man.
So gentlemen, I was going back to my point about the development in the country, and I was talking about cash trees. So, like I said, governments come and governments go, and they've talked about the redevelopment of cash trees, but no action has been taken, except under this government. So we saw phase 1 of the new cash trees market. Beautiful new market. We all remember what was there before, but beautiful, beautiful new market, world class for both our vendors and for visitors coming in.
Have you gone there? Have you gone there yet? Since you've been back?
Not as yet, Robert. I've seen the photos, but I intend to go. I intend to go soon. We've seen the.
Don't push your finger in the crab, and say PGG.
Is that a crib?
Is it cribs?
You have jokes and all that. We've seen the square, the Derek Walker Square.
Yes.
Look at the work that has gone into the square.
Yes.
But no, but the breaking down of the old jail.
Oh my goodness, that's the best that can ever happen to St. Lucia.
But again, remember how these guys fight? They jump in, they organize it.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
But what are we doing? An old derelict building that was sitting there doing nothing except generating rats.
Which should have been blown up by dynamite.
Absolutely.
According to Kenny
We've torn it down to build our new halls of justice and police headquarters. Again, killing two birds with one stone. We need to provide proper booking conditions for the police, for the courthouse, and it's part of the whole redevelopment of cash streets. But of course, these guys want to fight against everything the government is doing.
Everything.
So I strongly support the developmental agenda of this Prime Minister. The work is not going to get done in 5 years. We need at least 2 more terms. The country is moving, the country is open, work is going on. I think to change the government would be a huge mistake. Like the contractor I was speaking to said to me, to change the government now would be a huge mistake.
There must be continuity.
Absolutely, but there's so many projects going on right now. How do you change a government that is working, that you have seen is working, that needs the time to complete those projects? Even St. Jude's. I mean, what this government found with St. Jude's was something that was not up to standard. And Alan Chastain, they
You know
said,
what?
"We're doing
We have to
things
talk about that.
world-class."
We'll talk about St. Jude because we'll have to talk about that. You and I'll give you
Okay.
a call. We'll talk about that.
Okay, but just to make the point that if we're talking about world-class standards,
Mm-hmm.
world-class.
Come back, we say, leaving at
So no,
10:15.
it's not 100% finished, but it soon will be.
Mm-hmm.
The projects are going on, and we need another term to get all of these projects done and to get the development of the plan and vision of Alan Shasley, to get a lot of these things done. The
Yeah.
government has worked, they've proven their worth, they absolutely deserve another term, and we need to keep working.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, I will listen to you
All right.
on my TV.
Thank you
It was
very much.
nice chatting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Secret, nice seeing you today.
Dr. Christopher not falling asleep.
He's falling asleep. You guys work so hard. It's fully understandable.
Yeah.
But take care. I'll be
But Manova, we cannot wait to meet to have you. We cannot wait to have you in studio. Huh?
I'll arrange a number to do that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Have a good
gentlemen.
night.
Right,
Okay.
right.
All
Bye
right. Bye-bye.
bye. Right.
Nobi.
Yeah. We have another call right away there.
Wow.
Good night. You on the air? It's Crossfire.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, man. That lady made a very valid contribution, man.
Mm-hmm.
I must applaud her on her contribution.
Yeah, baby.
It hurts me, however, in one situation where she says we need another term. We don't need another term. We need to continue, and it might not even take another term. We need to take it up
To
to
the
a
full,
level
to the
higher
maximum.
than what it has been previously.
Well, I think what she's saying is
I
that
appreciate you know
this
this
next term coming up, we need another term
And this is
and
the
another.
basis.
Yeah.
Letting people know
Yeah.
that those who have been there previously
Mm-hmm.
did not have the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are you with me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Glad that you're still with me. But the truth of the matter is, the people are lacking the understanding of knowing what vision is all about. And I think she reiterated her position over and over again in her contribution.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I would like to contribute to your program is the fact that this country cannot afford lack of vision. Okay?
Yeah.
I think I should end my contribution here.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. Have a good night. Thanks for calling Crossfire. Now, Minerva took us from the north to the south.
Yeah.
And she started off by talking about the Grace Water Project. Now, we heard from 1998 when the district rep for Vieux-Fort South, we all know who he is, spoke at the opening of that mall down there where you have Massey. And he said that Vieux-Fort will be the new frontier.
Yeah.
But you cannot be the new frontier if everything you have is old.
Yeah. You're correct.
And there was a failure and continued to be a failure even when they had a 16-1 majority to do what they needed to do. When the confidence of the people of St. Lucia was placed in them to do what they said they were going to do, they failed. They were unable to deliver. They remained in labor, unable
To deliver.
to deliver. That child was just there, was like an l'éléphant,
Yeah, I know you.
right? Now, if you're going to put, well, number one, you have to ask yourself, if you say that the South is going to be the new frontier, what does that mean? Means you're going to have an expansion in everything.
Everything.
New hotels, business,
Yeah.
new homes.
Yeah.
People now, instead of moving out from the south to the north to work,
Coming down.
will be coming, and they are beginning to come back.
Yeah,
But what does that mean? You need to have better roads. you need to have more water because you have more people. If you're going to build more hotels, number one, a hotel is not going to come, or the owners or the investors are not going to come and plop down $500 million or $200 million in a hotel,
And,
and there's no water.
Take little pumps, go to the ravine and pump water in full drums.
So you must put in the infrastructure. You must put in the network of roads. You must put in electricity. It's like buying land.
Yeah.
Nobody want to go buy a piece of land in the middle of the jungle.
Nah.
What they tell you, undeveloped land is much cheaper than developed land. That's why you buy into a housing project. That house has roads. It has water.
It has
It
drains.
has electricity. It has drainage.
Cable, everything.
Cable TV,
Just
everything.
name it.
Now, when you put all of that in, it's going to attract businesses. It's going to invite shops. It's going to invite supermarkets. It's going to invite everything.
Yeah.
Now, that's water. What about the airport in the south? We already know on a yearly basis now, we're getting 400,000 plus visitors coming in
Yeah.
through Huonora. But what we also know, folks, 485-0931 is not for direct calls. It is for WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is for persons in the diaspora or anywhere else in the world who want to make a contribution. If you want to call direct, then you must call our in-studio line at 456-0931. We try to give everybody an opportunity. Good night, you're on the air. It's Crossfire. Good night.
Good night, Norbert.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make a small correction there. You all said the St. Lucia Beach Hotel was changed to St. Lucia, right?
The St. Lucian.
No, that's a little bit incorrect. The Holiday Inn.
The holiday.
What?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's right.
The
And
Holiday
Holiday Inn after the fire
Yes, changed.
changed Independence to St. Lucia. That's right.
Yeah,
You're
thanks
right.
very much, caller.
You're right. You remember the fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
I was there, so I can tell you that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks a lot. That's right. There was that fire.
Holiday Inn, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot the Holiday Inn. How can I miss that? I work at the Holiday Inn.
There was that. Were you working there when they had that fire there?
Yeah, I work at the Holiday Inn,
Yeah.
as a maintenance.
That's right. We have another call. Good night, you on the air. Let's keep it real on Crossfire.
Well, I have to tell you, I've been trying the whole night to get onto your show.
You get
and
it.
I've had no luck.
Well, finally. Oh, Prime Minister Alan
Oh, my
Shastney.
goodness.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good night, sir. How are
Good evening,
you?
sir.
Good evening.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have to tell you, you guys are looking very sharp in those shirts.
Oh,
I don't know
thank
what
you.
connection
Mucho
y'all have
gracias.
to have done
Sí.
those shirts so early.
Special connections. Somebody has a radio in the background there that's causing some feedback. Okay. Are you there?
Right here. Can you hear me better?
Yes, that's better now.
So I'm here in the beautiful constituency of Miku South,
Oh,
and I was going to see one of my constituents. They invited me into their home, and guess what they were watching?
Crossfire.
Crossfire.
Well, that's
I have to
good.
say, you guys have become the biggest heroes in my constituency and around St. Lucian. So I want to congratulate all of you and thank you for the amazing job that y'all are
Great.
doing.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Thank you. So it looks like you're going to be having another late night tonight, moving all over the place.
Yep, we're all here for my constituents. They're all very excited. All of them are telling me the same thing, Norbert.
What's that?
Call the election. They're ready.
But before you call the election, what were those moves last night that you were given there in that Flambeau Fire Friday action that was going on there?
Well, let me tell you something. Whenever I'm with the young people of this country, they inspire me so much. And what they're achieving and what they're doing and how they're representing 758 around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So proud of them. It gives me the greatest amount of energy and joy to be with them as I was on Friday night.
Right. But looking around the north, because that's where I was today, for the city of Castries to the north, the amount of economic activity that's going on, the number of vehicles on the road, it's like Christmas shopping season. What do you attribute to all of that now?
Well, it's so amazing you say, because I was driving down south, because I don't know if you know, but we had the athletics competition taking place in Vieux Fort.
Yeah.
And the traffic going both ways, I was just amazed. And I think that this concept of coexisting with COVID, keeping our economy open, and the resilience that we've created, because people have learned to live with COVID in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And even though that we've had some difficult times, we have found a way to overcome this. And we've had a record number of tourism arrivals from the U.S. We've actually now exceeded the number of U.S. arrivals in St. Lucia that we had in 2019 before COVID.
Wow.
And while we were not on the green list in the UK, we were hoping that a pronouncement would be made very soon. We have our first cruise ship coming back on Tuesday, and the level of economic activity because of the construction is amazing. You know, today I was on the phone calling Trinidad, calling Miami, calling the agents for Colombia. There's no cement on the island.
Yeah.
The amount of construction taking place here, we cannot get cement.
Wow.
It's an amazing thing. Bad in the sense because we want to do so much more work, but we're being limited by the amount of cement available globally.
So how are we working to get that rectified? What's going to happen?
As I said, you know, as a prime minister, I've gotten involved and engaged, calling the government of Trinidad. Production there was curtailed because of COVID. Production was curtailed in Colombia. And we're trying to work now with Rock Hard. We're working with all of the different suppliers of cement to see if we can remedy the situation as quickly as possible.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Yes, sir.
Did you had a chance to see the departure launch today at the Heronora Airport?
Yeah, I mean, we had another record number. Over 1,200 passengers came in today. You know, it's an amazing number. If you take the number of arrivals from January to April, which was 43,000, we had more arrivals in that period than the whole of the OECS put together.
Wow.
And in the month of May, we had 14,300 arrivals. And in the month of June, we're expecting to exceed 18,000 arrivals.
Wow. Wow, that's good. St. Lucia is on the right track.
St. Lucia's on the right track, and we have so many projects that are already started and are due to be completed very soon. We're hoping to get announced very soon the groundbreaking for the new police headquarters. On next week, we're hoping to announce the groundbreaking for a new hotel at Point Seraphim.
Yeah.
You have the Daher Mall, as you know, that's already started.
Yes.
The St. Jude's Hospital, which is almost 80% plus completed. We're just waiting to fix the roof so that we can now start the work on the interior. So I'm very excited. And you see the amount of roads that are taking place in this country. And St. Lucia's ahead. A lot of other countries around the world have recognized that they need to get into construction and infrastructural development to bring us out of the massive recession that COVID caused. You know, one of the things, Norbert, that a lot of people have not appreciated, the price of oil on the global market has gone to $74 a barrel. When the Labour Party was in government and the price of oil was at $45 a barrel, the price at the pump was $16. We have been limiting the amount of taxes that we've had on gas for the last 3 or 4 months. We're not collecting the $4 that we ought to be collecting. We're collecting almost $2.50 in order to keep the price below $14, to be able to support the minibus drivers and support the number of people who are dependent on that public transportation system so that the price doesn't go up.
But
these are some of the things that we're doing as a government that a lot of people, some people are not appreciating. But I know there's a lot of people out there who do appreciate what we're doing.
But PM, talking about the airport, and it's bursting at the seams right now with 400 passengers for the year. And 400,000 passengers for the last year's records. How do you see the construction of the new terminal building, and how is that going ahead in the scheme of the timelines for getting on track?
So the new airport will be almost 2.5 times the size of the existing airport. But what's also interesting is the new design that we've come up with will allow us to keep the old terminal intact.
Right.
So I'm hoping that in a very short time that I'll be able to announce an MOU, a memorandum of understanding with the cruise industry with regards to the construction of the new home port facility.
That's great news.
So the intention is that when the charter flights arrive for the cruise industry, that they will use the old terminal. And instead of people checking in through customs and immigration, the old terminal will be used to actually process the persons to get onto the cruise ship. By having this cruise ship in the south, a lot of the taxi drivers who've only been depending on transporting people up north now will have the ability to diversify their own business and bring people on tours to Choiseul and Labrie, to Soufriere, all the way up to Dennery and to the two Micoud. So this is going to be a great injection in the south. And I think that this is one of the greatest things that my government has achieved, is that we have more than talk the talk, we have actually walked the walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're creating major economic activity in the south between the 2 call centers. We're talking about almost $4.5 million in salaries a month that those call centers have. The St. Jude's construction was almost $1.5 million a month in salaries. Now you have the airport. We're putting down almost 20 piles a day. We're hoping to have the piling completed by November, and then the construction of the main building will start all the way until April of 2023. So there's a lot of work to be done in the south. And I'm just very excited. And look, this has been encouraging a lot of private sector development in the south as well. And why is that important? It just means that as a country, we're better utilizing the land that we've had, and it's allowing people in the south to now stay in the south to get jobs.
Good. Well, we don't want to take too much of your time, PM. We know you have to do your shoulder rubbing and everything else. Meet the people down there in your constituency and around the island. So we want to thank you so much for calling in and informing the people of St. Lucia on exactly what's happening and what the prospects are for St. Lucia. And we appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Herod, and thank you, Norbert. And I also want to say to both of you that tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, we have Flabo Live.
Yes.
So it's a great event. We're going to be making some greater pronouncements about things to come in the next term. I believe that most people would believe that we must finish the job that we've started, as well as that we have to keep working. We're on the right track, and I really believe a lot of people in this country will support the re-election of the United Workers' Party. So please don't miss tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, GTV, on Hot 7, on DBS, on UTV, as well as on our social media platforms. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Flabo Live.
Right.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Don't forget Sky FM. Don't forget Sky FM.
Absolutely, Sky FM, the number one radio station in St. Lucia.
That's right.
I hope you have some sauce down there. You had any sauce today?
No, you know what I had tonight? I had some boudin tonight. And I have to tell you, there was a guy in Blasha. He told me that he makes the best boudin in St. Lucia. And look, I've been to Mark and I've been to Myers Bridge. And with no bias, I can tell you, the best boudin I have in St. Lucia
probably had a lot of pepper.
In Blasha.
In Blasha.
Probably had a lot of pepper.
Well, I don't know, but it tastes damn good, I have to tell you.
All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Enjoy your evening, sir.
Now, St. Lucia, before we leave, we have at least one rally to show you because the people have been asking for the rally. So our camera crew said 10:30.
Yeah.
They say
Okay.
they're overwhelmed with it. They're really tired tonight.
We wearing them out.
Well,
The guys can't keep up, man.
they can't keep up with us, boy. And we're here every day.
So we have a rally coming up.
Well, just one of the rallies they want to show.
Okay.
We these young guys know how to do it.
Let's take this call and then we'll go to the rally. Good night, you on the air. It's Crossfire.
Oh, wow. I'd like, it's very important that the Honorable Prime Minister, it was nice hearing him. And it would appear to me that I would like him to clarify on the groundbreaking ceremony concerning the new police station that it's going to be.
What do you want clarified?
Yeah, but the thing I really want to know is, who does that property belong to? Is it Dibule's property? Is it government's property?
This government property, it's government property. It's Crown,
National
owned by
Trust.
the Crown.
National Trust own a property, yeah?
I think there's some controversy concerning that property.
There is no controversy about ownership of the property.
I beg your pardon, sir?
There is no controversy about ownership of the property.
It has been claimed by the Dibule family that the property belongs.
When was that claim made? When?
No offense.
Caller. When was that claim made?
I beg your pardon?
When was that claim made?
Oh, that's a long time. I don't know if people are aware of it, but the property...
You know, caller, you know how old that prison was there?
That's right. That's what I'm referring to.
Caller, do you know the owners then? If you said...
I wouldn't want to embarrass the Honorable Prime Minister in that regard.
How would you embarrass him? Do you know the owners of the property?
Beg your pardon?
Do you know the owners of the property?
Oh, I understood that the Dibule property...
You understood.
Understood.
Do you know?
Do you
For
know
a fact.
who the owners are?
Okay, caller, we're running out of time tonight, so thank you very much for your
What
call.
does that have to do
Thank
with
you
anything? Anyway, the government could acquire any property and
okay.
pay value for it.
Anyway, that thing has been owned for 200 years.
1800, you know.
Yes, that's why I asked him if you know who the property owners are.
Anyway, I guess we'll take that rally. That's
Camera crew, can you get the Strozel rallies? Just a few seconds. We just wanted to, all week we've been saying to our people, to get them energized. We want to show them the
I was there.
Everybody is trying to say to me that they're going to do this Oh, yeah.
Grosley Promenade, can't touch that.
Were you at the Grosley
No,
Promenade?
and I saw it. It can't touch that. On screen, those of you listening to the radio, we have the rally which was held in Choiseul just before the 2016 elections.
That's a little something of the cul-de-sac. That's a few, that's 2 minutes of cul-de-sac.
Now, I want to know who you voted. Who you voted. Or somebody name. Who you voted. Who you voted. All I want you to do, if you see a representative, point at your representative now. Point your finger now. Point at them. Who charges one?
2016 and some of the big rallies, UWP rallies, before the 2016 election.
And then we should come in from Tuesday morning into Sunday morning's program. And it's going to be all about political speeches, developments, projects. We're going into we're getting closer to the elections, Brother Norbert. So we want to let our people, let them know how we want to get them energized. Look at that. How to get them energized, because in my mind I'm thinking the Prime Minister. I don't know. I'm just thinking that. Remember the way he spoke?
The constituents say, hey, call the election, Mr. Prime Minister.
I'm thinking tomorrow night the Prime Minister make up.
So let's wrap up with a little bit more clarification on the South.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying, if you're gonna go make it the new frontier, building a new St. Lucia, getting hotels and getting other development down there, you must increase the capacity. And that's what the government's doing now. Water, the Grace Water Project, from 1 million gallons a day from 1.5 million to 4 million gallons a day.
Yeah.
That's a triple in the increase. What does that mean? That as far as water is concerned, you can triple the commercial activity, the activity down there in the South. For the airport, if the airport, I don't think anybody has any question about it, that the airport has been woefully inadequate for many years now. Can't handle the flight. No. Too many people.
Check what you see there today.
So let me tell you. So you're telling me that we have to wait until the end of COVID to start working on the airport?
Exactly.
That's not going to make sense. You're going to be behind capacity. What you want is the ability to increase the economic activity as soon as possible.
That's right.
Number one, you're not going to get more flights because the airline's the business. If you have a plane on the ground or circling overhead, that's expense. You're not making money.
Yeah.
Because they drop you down and they get you on and move out as quickly as possible. Now, you can want to get more, but the hotels are not going to plop down $200 million, $300, $400 million in the South to build a hotel, and they can't fill it up because what? No seats, no more flights. So what has to happen? You have to get the airport capacity up as quickly as possible so you can increase the size of your economic activity as far as tourism, as far as everything else is concerned, because tourism becoming bigger makes everything else get bigger.
Yeah.
The car rental business gets bigger.
Yeah.
The Airbnb gets bigger.
Yes.
The farmer's business gets bigger.
Yes.
Everything gets bigger. Taxi drivers' business gets bigger.
Yeah.
So this foolish talk about we don't need this now and we have to wait, COVID is still here, we don't have tourists now. Now is the time to build it. So because it's going to take 2 years.
Brother,
by the time you finish, things will be booming, you'll be ready.
Brother, when you have blind people presenting themselves to represent people, that is a disaster. Serious,
Now, when you look at the capacity, the new waterworks down there in Greece, the increased capacity to 4 million gallons a day. Not only are you going to need to increase the capacity just for tourists who are flying in to stay in St. Lucia, you have to increase the capacity to handle the flights that are going to be coming in for the people who will be joining the cruise ships in St. Lucia, because it's going to be the home port. The home port means that the cruise starts in St. Lucia,
yes,
and it ends in St. Lucia. When they have to fly out, they fly out as well. That is what the Prime Minister was talking about. The old terminal, which is the current terminal now, will be the terminal that will process the charter flights coming in with the passengers for the cruise. There you go.
Novi, I telling you, when you listen to this great Prime Minister, like, I don't believe that the Prime Minister have things on paper when you have to speak. You cannot catch that Prime Minister off guard, and that Prime Minister always ready to tell you the things that are important in the island. So therefore, how can I read that Prime Minister, and how can I, tonight I want to rename the Prime Minister to a craftsman. You know, because I cannot believe that a man can just come up with all these brilliant ideas and implementing all
But
these
don't
ideas.
forget his cabinet is a big part of it too.
Yeah, I know.
But you know, I want to say something. And you know, it continues to be the stupidity, the ignorance and the insults from the opposition and targeting the people of St. Lucia. I'm talking about that road that was built there in the south, which is near the DSH racetrack. And they want to insist that it was built for DSH. Number one, my first response would be, so what if it was anyway? Not that it was, but so what if it was anyway? Because when I look at the incentives that the former government gave to investors, when I look at the incentives, the duty-free, the tax-free, the CIP, this, the Tutbagay, in that letter to Robert Ainsworth, signed by the Prime Minister of St. Lucia of the day, Kenny Anthony, what wrong with a road? But listen to this. Listen to this. He built a road for DSH. Who 99%, 99.99999 times percent of the traffic on there is who? Not St. Lucians in the south. It's not a convenient bypass.
I'm using that road from Monday to Saturday.
But who's using the road? But you see, the ignorance and the insult to people's intelligence. And I've said it before, they've heard it before, but they want to insist on the misinformation. That road is going to be the main entrance. You see where the airport is. You see where the airport is. That is to facilitate transportation of material. You see where everything is closed off already.
I have drove to the airport via this road.
But let me tell you something. Why they don't tell you that the road was built for Coconut Bay? Why they don't tell you that the road was built for the people living at Latone? Why they don't tell you that the road was built for people going to St. Jude's? Why don't they say so? But it's convenient to say that the road is built for DSH. You see the nonsense? If it was built for DSH, then only DSH traffic should be on the road.
Exactly.
I mean, man, you know, it's Saturday night.
That road leading to Viewfort North. And you have a member for Viewfort North.
You know what? Let me tell you something. You see the road in Viewfort North? I think it was to facilitate. If people want to be stupid, it was built to facilitate people going to DSH when they have horse races. That's what it was built for. That's how ridiculous that these statements are. Wow. If that is ridiculous, that's how ridiculous that is too. Because do you have to present a pass that you work at DSH or you going to DSH to go on the highway?
Yeah. That is stupidity, Nobby.
Anyway, folks, it's 28 minutes after 10. Champagne, you want to stay another hour?
No, well, I would love to stay until 2 hours, but you have the crew. The gentleman said that
they're worn out, they're busted out. They can't handle us.
We're too much for them. We're too much for them.
So I guess that's
What's
it.
your age? I'm 22?
I'm 92.
No.
92.
22?
92. St. Lucia, as I promised you, don't forget this coming Monday will be our prayer for the nation as we approach the election. What a better time that we do need prayers for our beautiful country. And as we approach our elections coming up, for my guess, I'm thinking tomorrow the elections will be announced. I'm just thinking that. I don't know about you. Just based on the way the Prime Minister spoke tonight, I'm thinking that the elections will be announced. What do you think?
I am of the same view, Champagne.
You are of the same view?
Listening to the Prime Minister tonight and what his constituents is saying, Mr. Prime Minister,
it's not
call the elections.
Yeah.
And
some people would like to see it go to October, though.
No. Let me tell you something. these are the people who have the prime minister there, you know.
Let me tell you why I would not like to see the election.
Well, we have
go.
1 more minute, guys.
Let me tell you why I would not like to see the election go any further. Because of all the nonsense you keep hearing on a daily basis. I would love to see that go away.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of these guys once and for all. And just let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's develop our beautiful St. Lucia.
You know
make
what?
it the
You know what,
peaceful
champion?
country.
Wipe them out.
Yeah, let's just wipe
That's
these
what
guys
we
out.
need to purge.
Whip them out.
Yes.
Purge.
And purge.
The politics in St. Lucia with those guys. And I think it's quite appropriate to end on this one there tonight.
Yes. St. Lucia, thank you. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow evening.
Thank you very much, folks. Thanks for joining us on another Crossfire tonight. Next week, Saturday, Crossfire will be hotter than ever, where we will be discussing the issues. Not a damn seat for them. We need to wipe it out, clean out our House of Parliament, clean out the jokers, lack of respect, lack of any proper representation. As far as I'm concerned, they should dock all their pay for all the time that they've walked out. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you for joining us once again for Crossfire, coming up Monday morning at 6 o'clock, the morning edition of Keeping It Real. I'm Norbert Williams with the Man Herod and Champion, who's run out the door.
Good evening.
Have a good night. Have a safe weekend.
Have a good weekend, guys.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Not a damn seat.